Well, it is almost 2 days post-race, so we're actually walking again. Go back through some of the feelings and the lessons learned. Let's just sum it up. Well, there's a reason we did not do this video at the finish line. I was not in my right mind.
I think you were definitely overheated. I think you were dehydrated and really low in calories.
This was my second time. How was it for you on your first time?
It's hard. I feel like I lived a month in a span of 12 hours. You're just all over the place. Emotionally, you are all over the place when you do something that's that long. To be fair, I've gone through that span of emotions in a 5K also. So maybe it's me. I would say at the start line, leading up to it, the night before, the morning of, you were watching me. What was your interpretation of what I was doing before?
I thought you were actually in a good headspace. You had lowered your expectations to almost nothing.
Oh, my expectations were nothing.
I really appreciated that because I was worried about you.
Why?
You were so not confident. We had had a few training runs that were just awful for you. And you had one that was really good. I
had two that were fairly positive. Some of our friends that were there, we had a lot of friends there, were nerves. They had pre-race nerves. I felt none of that because they had expectations. I had no expectation. I'm not really sure how I ended up here at the start line, and I kind of lost track. Why does the porta potty line take so long?
They only have like 4 or 5 porta potties.
And it's the last bathroom.
And there's like 400 people at that start line.
I'm leaving the porta potty at like 6:54. It starts at 7. Our friends are like, group pick, blah, blah, blah. So we're like doing the group pick. And then I hear the countdown. It's like 3, 2, 1, go. And I was like, what? We're going? Okay.
What do you think went really well for you?
I actually think it was good that I was by myself.
Really?
Yes.
Because some people might really battle with us and say, why didn't Dave go with Christine?
I despise the feeling of feeling like I'm holding someone back. That really makes me feel very negative because I don't want to hold anyone back from their own race. And I was able to really focus on myself. That sounds very selfish, but when you do something that long, I would say pretty susceptible to like heat, elevation, dehydration, that kind of thing. I knew I needed to take care of myself physically. So I was able to give myself the time to do that because I didn't have anybody waiting for me, which I think was really good. It sounds weird, maybe counterintuitive for a lot of people. I just know myself. I think I did really well at pushing calories and fluids. Over the course of the day, I think I estimated I ingested a minimum of 7 liters of water and was very thirsty at the finish line.
During every training run that we had, you practiced very, very well. And I think that's what I don't do. I don't practice those things. I'm like, I can do this training run. And I don't run my training runs like I would the race.
You know what I think it was? It was the Ironman experience because I got way behind in calories and fluids in my Ironman race because I was pushing the bike so hard and I wasn't thinking about, like, I ran out of fluids and I didn't think to take extra bottles from people and I never recovered and I suffered greatly on the run section. And so that was kind of nagging me in the back of my head, like, you can't get behind. If you get behind, it's all going to be crap. I think I did that well.
What didn't go so well?
I had 2 bad moments, really, really dark places. One was at mile like 8 to 9.5. Conveniently, did not record that because I was feeling so good that I was like kind of jogging and kind of moving and I got behind on my food. And I started doing this climb and my breathing was out of control and my heart rate was through the roof and I was feeling really dizzy. And it occurred to me that I was like, I don't even know what I've eaten in the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
I sat on a tree stump and took my pack off, just ate like 300 calories and drank one of my flasks.
Good for you.
And it took about a mile for it to settle out, but it went away and I didn't feel like that again for the rest of the day. People are so supportive. Don't you think? I had so many people that were like, hey, are you okay? Do you need something? What's going on? What are you doing? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm just fine. Just finding some food, just looking for something, like totally good. My second really, really bad place was coming off the scree field.
It's hard and nobody really understands it until you've done it. Did I prepare you for it?
Yes, because I knew that it was long.
Yeah.
I knew that it was at least 2 miles of scree, so I knew it was there. My issue was my fear of heights. Because while I knew the scree field was there, I was not aware that the trail was on the edge of a 1,000-foot cliff. Like unsteady and you're at mile 25, so you're kind of tired. And the wind, you guys, the wind.
The wind was howling. Not a cloud in the sky, but the wind was blowing blustery.
I felt like it was going to push me off the edge. I had a moment of paralyzing fear. Like I stood there with my poles frozen, totally frozen. People are passing me and I couldn't even move because I was so terrified. And the most amazing lady in the blue spandex shorts was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm just really scared of heights. Like I'm really having a hard time with this." And she was like, "You know what? Let me walk." The cliff was to my right. So she was like, "Let me walk right here. You just stay to my left." And she's like, "We're going to get through it." And she just stayed right next to me. And I was able to get off the scree field, off of the edge of the cliff with her next to me, helping me along, which was awesome.
Wow.
I was in a bad place right there.
Hat blew off.
Oh, my hat blew off before that.
On the cliff.
Uh-huh.
And we got a picture of that.
Yeah, I do. Rest in peace.
I can't believe, as scared as you were, that you actually had a thought to go and rescue that hat off the edge of the cliff. That just tells me right there how much you really liked that hat.
It was my favorite hat. And I saw it. I was like, it's just right there. I can grab it with my pole. So I like scooched my butt out on this rock and Maddie was right there. And she was like, nope, don't do that. Don't do that. And I scooted out a little bit. I'm like, yep, not doing that. Scooted right back over.
What was your physical moment?
My IT bands got real tight by like mile 20. But by the time I was coming down, like it's 1,000 feet down in a mile.
Yeah.
It's so steep. It was so painful. I couldn't handle it. It was bad. 2 miles of scree going up and down is exhausting.
We did compare our times. I finished about 30 minutes before you, all across the scree and down the backside all the way to the finish line.
I was faster than
you. You were faster than me on every mile.
I wouldn't have expected that.
That was awesome.
Because I felt like I was moving like a snail.
We got done with the finish line. I was seriously sick. I had cold sweats. I had chills. I was like almost hyperventilating at points. I don't know why.
Let's play a game called What Are All the Things You Ate at the Aid Stations?
Okay. I got to a real good groove. Are you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
I would shove the little cups of Swedish fish and gummy bears in my pockets so I could carry them on the trail. And then I would eat the potato chips and pickles and bacon.
So weird for someone that loves candy as much as I do that I didn't take it once.
Yeah.
I didn't want any of the candy at all. I loved the watermelon. I had watermelon at every aid station. I didn't touch the bacon. I didn't touch the chips. The second aid station, I took the PB&J sandwiches like in my hands. I just like grabbed them and started walking while I was eating them. Finished all of my food by mile 15 that I had taken in my pack. It was all gone.
I'm glad you packed all the food. I was regretting not packing more.
Before the race, he was like, "That's too much food." I drank at least 3 cups of full sugar Pepsi at every aid station.
Really? It felt good though, didn't it? Even though you don't like Pepsi?
No, I didn't care. I needed the sugar and the caffeine. I put Tailwind in my bottles. The boiled potatoes dipped in salt. Fan-freaking-tastic. I could not get enough of those. I liked the watermelon, the potatoes, and then at mile 23, cup of noodles.
Yeah.
I was hungry at that point.
The Tailwind saved my bacon. I put Tailwind in one water bottle, water in the other, and I went through that at every aid station. I think I had 4 goos.
I didn't touch the goos. You know how many I've had during marathon trainings? No, I am all gooed out, man.
Listen,
I don't want those. This is so interesting. You ate really processed foods at the aid stations.
Yeah.
And I had watermelon and potatoes. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I think that's so funny.
I don't think it was good.
The cup of noodles at mile 23. I'm going to go in, I'm going to sit in a chair, stretch my IT bands, and eat 400 calories before I leave. And so I walked in and I'm like, "What do you got? What do you got?" And he was like, "I've got chicken broth. I've got raviolis." And I saw the cup of noodles and I'm like, are these hydrated? Are these ready to go? He's like, "Yeah, have a cup of noodles." 300 calories, ate every bite of that. It was fantastic.
They hit the spot. My feet really hurt. How did your feet do?
Great.
I think my feet were the lack of long run trainings and long run back-to-back trainings.
Well, and I didn't even think I did that many compared to you. But the month leading up to the race, I had 2 20-milers, 120 and a 21 and a half.
Yeah.
Did you have any 20s in the last month leading up?
No. I didn't get blisters or anything like that. I just say my feet felt
they're tender.
Very tender and tired. Especially coming down the landslide face trail.
They called it the horse trail.
They call it the horse trail?
That's what they said,
Dude,
yeah.
it's awful.
It is awful. That's the worst part of the race.
Because you're so like unsteady footed going over the scree, and then you come down and you're like, "Oh, it's going to get better," because nope, not better.
It's not better. I used my poles heavily on that section for balance.
What did you think about just the overall production of the race.
The fact that they got aid stations up in some of those places at all is really amazing when you see the roads that they have to take to get to some of these places. I like the finish line, like shoot and the announcers and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
The tent, the people.
The tent and the people. It's really different than a road race.
Yeah.
It's super, super different. It's much more chill.
I feel like it's a better community.
Yeah, the community, I would say, is more supportive and less competitive.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you say?
For sure. This is top 3 best things about this race.
Okay.
For me, it's the views.
When I was up on the top looking around, that was pretty amazing.
Were you trying not to look around? Is that what you were saying?
I was also trying not to look.
Was that code for it was too high?
I did fine until the last peak.
Yeah.
I was fine until the last peak. And then I was like, I'm over it. I've been doing this too long. It's hard to say the part I was most frustrated, whether it was my paralyzing fear on the top or the fact that my knees hurt so badly.
Yeah.
They hurt so bad limping into that last aid station that knowing I had 5 more miles to go, not knowing if I was just going to be limping for 5 miles. Like, how long is it going to take me to limp 5 miles? I was very frustrated in that moment because I couldn't overcome the physical pain of my knees.
Did you learn anything about yourself? You've done Ironmans and stuff before.
My self-talk is really interesting.
Woo! Woo! Wow! Woo! Woohoo! That was gnarly. Dude, these berms are sick. Okay. Oh. Slowing it down. Brakes are your friend. Here we go! Oh, what? Okay, technically I could have rolled that. Nope. Whoop. Okay. This is no problem. No problem. Whoa! I shouldn't have stopped. Oh yeah. Ha ha ha! No problem. No problem. Hooah! That's fun. Oh. Yeah.
There were 2 moments in particular. One was going down the horse trail. My knees were freaking killing me. But I looked at my watch and it said like so many miles, 0.5. And I knew it was half a mile to the aid station. So I was like, okay, I just gotta go half a mile. So I'm like going down, listening to my tunes. I feel like I've been going forever. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I looked down, it had moved 0.1. It had gone from 0.5 to 0.6 and I yelled out loud, I'm not even moving. I was so mad in that moment. And then after I left the last aid station, one of the most amazing runners gave me her knee brace to help me out.
I saw that.
Yeah, because I was dying at that aid station. I'm like, I'm gonna plop my butt down. It's gonna take me 4 hours to go 5 miles. Like, that's really what I was thinking. She's like, I have a knee brace. And I was like, I'll try anything right now. So I put it on. It really helped a lot. So I was able to start moving. And then I would recommend not doing math at mile 30 of a race.
No.
Okay, but I started doing math. I think I did that first mile out of the aid station in 15 minutes. And I was like, oh, if I'm under 15-minute miles for the next, carry the 5, and I could finish at this time, right? Like, I could finish under this many hours.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Right? And so I did the next mile. The next mile was like 14 minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. How many miles are left? 3, 4? I don't even know. I'm going to be under like 12 hours. I'm going to be under 12 hours. Oh my gosh. Talking to myself out loud. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. My knees feel good. We can move. We can do this. Like, look, we're actually moving. This is amazing. I said all of that out loud. I probably sounded like a maniac.
Well, we've heard your self-talk in the past. It's funny though, because usually leading up to the race, your self-talk is nowhere near like that.
I'm just very realistic.
Realistic or negative?
Yes. I'm realistic about my negative experiences.
I'm very frustrated with how I did. I wasn't even talking to the camera. You talk about how present you were.
I was very present, yeah.
Even from like after the first like aid station, I'm like, where the heck was I? Was I dreaming? I would get to the aid stations and I would look at the food and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to eat that? And I just threw like a shot of Swedish fish in my mouth. And I'm chewing them and I'm like, I can't swallow this. And the rest of the day, I've looked back at some of the film. I'm not even talking to the camera. I'm not talking to my friends. I'm not talking to the camera. I don't know what planet I'm on.
Listen, I'm laughing now because it's been a little while, but I am 100% confident that behavior was lack of calories.
It was something.
You were out of your freaking mind.
My sister
Killed it.
killed it.
Yeah. She might as well be a mountain goat.
I was trying to hang with her and keep her company and enjoy the fact that we were doing it together. And I realized about 10 miles in, I'm like, this girl is going to freaking rock it, and I need to let her go.
She did.
And she beat my time from last year.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she's like 9:40.
9:40.
Awesome job to my sister. Hats off to her, Emily.
I think she could have even gone faster if she wasn't like waiting for you guys.
Yeah. Big thanks to my friends Mo and Caleb for going with me and letting me hang out with them. Caleb and I were kind of having sympathy pains with each other. And when one of us felt bad, the other one felt bad. And bless her heart, Caleb's wife Mo, she just hung with us the whole time.
What a good
And
sport.
she was more than capable
Yeah.
of kicking our butts. She probably could have finished with Emily or faster. I appreciated not having to run by myself.
Mm-hmm. It was really hard. And even as I was doing it, I was kind of in shock that I was doing it while I was doing it.
Yeah.
I hit mile 30 and I'm like, holy crap, I'm still moving. I can't even believe it right now. I'm going to finish. That realization that I was like, I'm actually going to finish.
Yeah.
Because at mile 9, I was like, I might quit. I passed this guy, young kid in his 20s, tall kid. He was hurting. We were doing some climb. I don't know. He was like, he stepped off to take a break. And I'm like, man, I hear that. I love those breaks, you know? He was like, I'm trying to decide at what aid station I'm going to drop. And I'm like, I've felt that way at every aid station. They say on every one how much further it is and what your elevation profile gain is at every aid station. So I'd get to one and I'd be like, okay, 5.7 miles and 1,500 feet of climb.
Yeah.
I think I can do that. And that's as far as I thought through.
One kid, I would say late teens, early 20s, in the second or the third aid station, and I still can't remember which one it was because I don't think I was in my right mind, but he was white as a ghost in the medic tent, and they're giving him an IV.
Oh.
So, I mean, it was a rough day out there for some people. It was definitely hot. Are you going to do it again?
No, I'm not going to do it again. At this stage of my life, want to focus more on my teenagers and less on can I fit in a 10-hour training day. Training for something so long is really a commitment of time. I think I can have great adventures, great racing experiences doing 10 miles. I understand the challenge of wanting to accomplish something that long, and I did. I accomplished it and I finished it, and I'm still shocked that I finished it. That's what surprised me the most as I'm like I've climbed 6,500 feet for the day and I've gone 25 miles and I'm like, I'm still moving. Wow. You know, the human body is truly amazing. For me at this stage right now with the kids, I don't see how I can commit that time. My priorities are not that. And I think that's okay.
Here's what I recognized. I could do better if I took more time to train.
Uh-huh.
I probably could have done better if I had just eaten well, right? Mm-hmm. Or even drank better.
Yeah.
But the question I still have to have in the back of my head is, do I want to commit that much more time to training again?
I would rather bike.
Yeah.
6 weeks to Big Sky and 8 weeks to Lodija, and it's bike on bike.
Yeah, for the next 2 months.
For the next 2 months.
We're all cycling.
And I'm excited about that.
Good. That is really healthy. Is it never again or just no for now? So no for now.
No for now. I'm good. I'm happy with the experience. I was very frustrated with my knees. I think I could have done significantly faster on the downhill stuff, which is what I excel at. I am an excellent technical downhill runner. Mm-hmm. And to have my knees hurt that bad and restrict me from doing it was a little frustrating. When I look at the day as a whole, it could have gone a whole lot worse. So there's that.
Yeah.
I think overall it was a positive experience for me.
You rocked it. I was really, really proud of you. So,
thank you.
Now that I know you can and you know you can, mm-hmm. we still have a couple big things coming up. Big Sky Biggie, mm-hmm. which we're going to film. Lodija.
I've never filmed Lodija.
That's our recap.
That's our recap for the Beaverhead Endurance Run. Is that what it is?
2023.
2023. It's a great day. It's a great race. It's hard. Like this video if you're scared of heights. Oh man. That's how I record every video. I just see what I end up with. That's my strategy. That's my YouTube growth strategy. Record everything, see what you end up with. Which means there's 1 more mile left. Or 2. 1 or 2. What's this little chipmunk doing right here? Oh, he's hiding. I think I'm climbing up
that. I think that's what we're doing.
This is what guys do. Guys turn their back to the trail and go. Okay, that's what guys do. Girls like hike in basically no undergrowth at all, trying to find any spot at all that we can drop all of our clothes completely and squat so the people coming can't see us and the people going can't see us.
Yeah.
And there's almost none of those.
Yeah.
So I probably spent 20 minutes over the course of the race looking for spots to pee.
What a time to be alive.